I never thought I'd crash my own sister's wedding with a drone loaded with incriminating footage. But there I was, hovering it over the rooftop of that overpriced Hamptons venue, like some deranged wedding photographer from hell. The first slap wasn't even the worst part. It was the way she smiled through the blood on her lip. Like she'd earned it. Like love was just another bruise to hide under concealer. And me? I'd been carrying her darkest secret for 5 years. The one that cost me my job, my reputation, and half my goddamn soul. All because blood's thicker than justice in a family like ours. It started 6 months before the wedding invite that never came. Or rather, it started 5 years back, in the sticky heat of a Nashville summer, when my sister Lila decided that embezzling from our family's construction firm was her ticket out of small-town purgatory. I was 28 then, fresh out of Vanderbilt with an accounting degree and stars in my eyes, thinking I'd climb the ladder at Dad's company the honest way. Lila was 25, wild-eyed and reckless. The baby of the family who'd always gotten away with murder because she had that golden girl glow, blonde curls, dimpled smile, the kind of pretty that made men like our father forgive her for burning through his credit cards like they were kindling. Dad built Harlan Construction from nothing after Mom died in that car wreck when we were kids. It was his empire. Poured concrete and steel into every strip mall from Memphis to Chattanooga. I idolized him, still do, in that twisted way you love a ghost. Lila? She saw it as her personal ATM. One night, buzzed on cheap tequila at some dive bar off-Broadway, she confessed over the phone, her voice slurring like a bad country ballad. Aubrey, I need 50 grand. Just borrow it. No one'll notice. I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. But the next morning, there it was, a wire transfer from the company's slush fund to an offshore account in her name. She'd used my login, my goddamn credentials, because she knew I'd cover for her. Sisters? Right? I didn't rat her out. Not to Dad. Not to the board. Instead, I buried it. Fudged the books just enough to make it look like a vendor overcharge. Worked 18-hour days to plug the hole with my own overtime pay. It ate at me, that lie, like acid in my gut. But Lila promised she'd pay it back, said it was for starting over, some vague dream of LA glamour. She ghosted me after that. Moved to the West Coast on a waitressing gig that turned into modeling. Then influencer bullshit. Posted filtered selfies from Santa Monica beaches while I ground my teeth in Nashville. Climbing to junior partner only to watch Dad's health fail from the stress of mysterious shortfalls he blamed on the economy. Fast forward to last Christmas. Dad's in hospice. Lungs clogged from years of sight dust. And he pulls me aside in that sterile room smelling of bleach and regret. Aubrey girl, he wheezes, his hand like a claw on mine. You're the rock. Always have been. Lila. She's flighty, but family sticks. I nod, throat tight. Because what else can you say when the man who raised you is dying and his last words are a plea to protect the sister who fucked us all? He passes 2 days later. On New Year's Eve. Fireworks popping outside like ironic applause. The will reads fair. Half the company to each of us. But Lila's share? She sells it off within weeks to some venture capitalist shark named Victor Kane. A Silicon Valley transplant with a trust fund and a jawline that screams future senator. That's how I meet Victor. Or rather, how Lila introduces him via Instagram stories, her arm looped through his at some Napa vineyard. Captions like power couple goals. He's 32. Ex-Google exec turned disruptor in real estate tech. The kind of guy who quotes Nietzsche over avocado toast and has a podcast on ethical capitalism. I hate him on sight. that polished veneer, hiding whatever rot lurks beneath. But Lila's smitten. Posting engagement pics from a heli tour over the Grand Canyon. Ring the size of a doorknob. The wedding set for June in the Hamptons, neutral ground. She says, because Nashville's too folksy. Aubrey. And you know how I feel about humidity. Translation, you're not invited. The save the date Evie goes out to her LA circle. Influencers and tech bros. Not a single Harlan in sight. I stare at my empty mailbox. The one Dad used to stuff with birthday cards. And feel that old acid churn. I don't cry. I seethe. Dig into Victor Kane like he's a quarterly report gone wrong. Turns out, he's not just a pretty face with a fat wallet. Whispers on Glassdoor about his time at Google, lawsuits hushed with NDAs. A pattern of female execs resigning after late-night brainstorming sessions. Then the real dirt, a DUI cover-up in Palo Alto. Daddy's lawyers making it vanish like morning fog. But the kicker? That venture capital firm he works for? They invested in Dad's old rival. The one that undercut Harlan bids with bribes. Coincidence? Bullshit. Victor's playing Lila like a fiddle. And she's too blinded by his Tesla rides to see the strings. I try reaching out. Texts go unread. Calls to voicemail with her bubbly greeting. Hey, it's Lila. Leave a love note. Finally. An email. Sis. Wedding's small. Space issues. Love you. But. Boundaries? Boundaries. From the girl who'd begged me to commit felony fraud for her dreams. I draft a reply spilling it all, the embezzlement. The cover-up. How she left me holding the bag while Dad died, thinking I was the screw-up. Delete it. Send flowers instead. Lilies because she hates their funeral stink. They come back unopened. Labeled, return to sender. No such resident. By spring. I'm unraveling. Quit Harlan, sold my shares to a competitor. Pocketed enough to ghost Nashville for good. Land in Brooklyn. Crashing on a cousin's couch. Taking freelance gigs auditing crypto startups. Nights. I scroll Lila's feed. Watching her bridal shower at a Malibu estate. Victor toasting with vintage Dom. That's when the first red flag waves. A story she posts at 2 a.m. Her eyes swollen under bad filter. Caption, rough night laughs. Bridezilla blues. I zoom in. Heart pounding. Bruise? Makeup? Can't tell. But Victor's in the background. Arms slung possessive. That smile too tight. I start tailing them digitally. Hire a PI buddy from Vanderbilt days. The kind who owes me for burying his gambling debts in a tax return once. He pulls Victor's browser history, dark web forums on domestic discipline, Reddit threads from incel-adjacent groups preaching alpha control. Chills. Then the emails Victor to a lawyer. Contingency for prenup breach, emotional distress clause. He's got an out. A parachute if Lila ever wises up. And me? I'm the ghost in the machine. The sister she erased. The slap happens 2 weeks before the wedding. I'm in a Williamsburg coffee shop, nursing black drip and a grudge. When my phone blows up. TMZ alert. Tech heir Victor Kane caught in wedding week scandal. Fiancé takes hit at private party. Grainy cell footage. Time-stamped from a yacht off Montauk. Lila. Tipsy in a sundress. Laughing at some joke. Victor's face twists. Jealousy? Booze? His hand flies out. Palm cracking against her cheek. She stumbles. Crowd gasps. But no one intervenes. The video cuts as she straightens. Forces a smile. Just playing. Guys. Victor's my hero. Hero. My stomach twists like a knife in wet clay. It goes viral overnight. Slapgate trends. Feminists versus trads duking it out in comment sections. Victor issues a statement. Private moment taken out of context. Lila and I are stronger than ever. She backs him. Instagram live from their hotel. Misunderstanding. Love conquers all. But I see it. The tremor in her voice. The way she touches her jaw like it's porcelain. That's my sister. The one I shielded from ruin. Now shielding a monster. I buy the drone that afternoon. A DJI Mini. Sleek black. $400 on Amazon Prime. Load it with a GoPro rigged for HD. Sync to my laptop via encrypted VPN. Revenge isn't a dish. It's a delivery service. And I'm express shipping karma. First target. Victor's Tesla. I hack the app. Child's play for an accountant with downtime. Unlock it remotely while he's at a brunch meeting. Slip in a USB drive to his infotainment system. Uploading a montage. Screenshots of his shady deals. Audio clips from those PI taps where he brags about taming wild ones like Lila. Timestamp it to play on loop next time he syncs his phone. Petty? Sure. But it's just the appetizer. The wedding's on a Saturday. Skies over the Hamptons like polished marble. The kind of blue that mocks your misery. I rent a beat-up Subaru from a guy in Queens who doesn't ask questions. Stuff it with binoculars, a thermos of Bad Gas Station Joe, and that drone case like it's my emotional support animal. Drive out at dawn. Windows down. Springsteen blasting Born to Run because irony's my co-pilot these days. The venue's a sprawling estate called Willow Creek Manor, white clapboard mansion. Manicured lawns rolling to the Atlantic. The sort of place where old money pretends it's new. Security's tight. Valet tense. NDAs for the caterers. Drones banned per the contract. But I'm not crashing as a guest. I'm the storm cloud on the horizon. Park a mile out. In a dirt pull-off overgrown with beach grass. Hike the rest with a drone backpack biting into my shoulders. Find a dune overlook. Screened by scrub pine. Close enough to see the aisle through telephoto lens. Guests trickle in. Victor's venture bros in slim-fit suits. Lila's influencer squad in pastel sheaths. Air kissing like they're on a red carpet. No family from our side. Dad's grave fresh enough to sting. I power up the drone. Fingers numb on the controller. Heart hammering like a jackhammer on asphalt. Launch it low. Skimming treetops. A black bird in a white dress world. The ceremony's Pinterest perfect. String quartet doing Pachelbel's canon. Lila gliding down the aisle in ivory lace. Victor at the altar with that predatory grin. I zoom the feed. Bile rising. Vows exchanged, hers trembling. His smooth as oiled silk. In sickness and health, he says. And the crowd chuckles like it's cute. Kiss. Applause. Recessional to a tented reception where fairy lights twinkle like false stars. My drone hovers at 200 feet. Invisible against the clouds. GoPro capturing it all. The cake cutting. First dance to some Ed Sheeran cover. Victor's hand lingering too low on her waist. That's when I drop the first payload. Timed it for the toasts. Hack into the AV system via the venue's open Wi-Fi. Amateurs. Splice my montage into the slideshow loop. Big screen flickers. Wedding pics morph into Victor skeletons. A boardroom email chain. Leverage the Harlan shortfall by Low. Audio overlay. His voice. Slurred from a bar tab. Lila's feisty. But a little correction goes a long way. Gasps ripple through the tent like wind through wheat. Lila freezes mid-sip of champagne. Eyes darting to the screen. Then to Victor, whose face drains to the color of bad milk. Chaos blooms slow, then fast. A venture bro stands, yelling, "What the fuck?" Vic, an aunt, some distant Kane relation, clutches pearls like they're rosaries. Lila bolts from the table, dress hiking as she runs toward the bathrooms. Victor hot on her heels. I guide the drone lower. Riskier now. Catching snippets through the tent flap, his voice low and venomous. "You leak this? After everything?" Her sob. "Aubrey? This is Aubrey. Isn't it? Bingo." He snarls something about crazy sister, and I hear the slap before the mic picks it up. Echo of the yacht. But sharper. More intimate. Part of me wants to land the drone. Drive away. Let the vultures pick the carcass. But the hook's in too deep. I arm the second payload, a live feed burst to select contacts. Pushed it to TMZ's tip line. A few blue-check journalists. Even Lila's manager. Within minutes, my phone buzzes, alerts from X. The video splicing wedding bliss with Victor since going mini-viral. Hampton slap, 2 trends locally. Guests live tweeting from the lawn. Is this real? Bride sis just nuked the groom? Wedding WTF. Security spots the drone then, some ex-cop with a scanner beeping like a pissed-off hornet. I yank the controller. Bank it hard over the dunes. But he's got a jammer. It sputters, plummets into the surf 50 yards out. Lost. But the damage? Immortal. I hike back to the car. Salt wind whipping my hair. Adrenaline crashing like waves on those rocks. Check my phone. Voicemails piling up. Lila's number first. "Aubrey. You bitch. How could you? We're done forever." Victor's blocked me. But his firm's PR drone calls. MS. "Harlan. We need to discuss retraction." I laugh. Raw and ugly. Gunning the Subaru onto the Montauk Highway. Retraction? That's rich. 5 years of silence for her theft. Bearing Dad's suspicions. Watching her trade our legacy for a gold digger's ring. This isn't revenge, it's restitution. Pull over at a clam shack. Order lobster roll to go because fuck it. Today's a celebration. Eat it on the hood. Watching the sun dip bloody into the sea. X notifications lighting up like fireflies. Pundits weighing in. Vigilante justice or family feud gone nuclear? Feminists cheering my drone drop. Trads calling me the villain for ruining a sacred day. Pick a side. America, I'm all out of fucks. Back in Brooklyn that night. Crashing on the cousin's lumpy futon. I crack a beer and scroll the fallout. Victor's firm suspends him pending investigation. Lila's posting cryptic stories, black square with betrayed, overlay. Then deletes it. Mutuals DM me. Heard what you did. Ballsy. One from an old Harlan foreman. Proud of ya. Kid. Your dad would have toasted that. Sleep comes fitful. Dreams of Dad's hospice bed morphing into the wedding tent. His wheeze turning to Victor's slap. Monday hits like a hangover. My inbox floods. Job offers from true crime pods wanting the sister scorned exclusive. Lawyers sniffing for a defamation suit. I ignore most. Take a call from a New York Times stringer instead. Off record, I say. It wasn't about the slap. It was the lie she lived on, my lie. Really? Covered her ass once. Won't again. He probes gentle. Was the embezzlement true? Did she know about Victor's past? I hedge. Feed him just enough to keep the story breathing without choking me. By Wednesday, Lila surfaces. Shows up at my cousin's brownstone unannounced. Pounding the buzzer at 7 a.m. Like she's the victim. Cousin lets her up, blood's blood. Even diluted. She bursts in, still in yoga pants and oversized sunnies, the kind that hide raccoon eyes. Aubrey. No hello. Just accusation. Voice cracking like thin ice. You destroyed everything. The guests saw, God. The videos everywhere. Victor's furious. His family's cutting him off. I sip my coffee slow, perched on the kitchenette stool, letting her steam. Good. Maybe he'll think twice next time he corrects you. She paces, heels clicking on linoleum, spilling it all in a torrent. How Victor promised the world. How the slap started as passion, escalated after the yacht leak. He's sorry. Aubrey. Therapy. Couples counseling. We can fix it. Fix it. Like a leaky faucet, not a pattern of fists. I set the mug down deliberate. Meet her eyes, blue like Mom's, but fractured now. You sold Dad's company to him. Lila. Knew he was the one squeezing us dry. And the money you took? That's on me, federal rap if it ever surfaces. I carried that for you. Her face crumples. Mascara streaking black rivers. I was scared.
Young.
I paid it back, sort of. Victor helped invest it.
Invest.
In what?
His ego?
We argue for hours. Voices echoing off exposed brick. Cousin peeking from his room like it's pay-per-view. She begs forgiveness. Offers shares in Victor's next startup, where family. Aubrey. Sisters stick. I laugh bitter. You uninvited me. Drew your line. I just redrew it. She leaves in tears, promising to make it right, but I know better. Sisters stick until the tide turns. The backlash hits peak velocity a week later, when Victor sues. Not me. Smart bastard goes after the venue for negligent security, drags in the drone footage as evidence of cyber harassment. Subpoenas fly. My name splashed across page 6. Jilted Sisters Drone of Doom. Is revenge porn the new bridezilla? I lawyer up quick. Dip into Harlan sale proceeds for a shark from Manhattan, ex-Fed prosecutor who smells blood. They've got no case, she tells me over Zoom. Pearls clicking like dice. Public figure. Newsworthy conduct. First Amendment's your shield. But shields crack. Ex-mobs form. Justice for Victor camps calling me a feminist terrorist, doxing my freelance clients till gigs dry up. Then the stand with Lila crew. Painting her as the ultimate victim. Abused bride saved by vengeful kin?
Nah.
They twist it. I'm the abuser. Exposing her trauma for clicks. Pundits on Fox debate it over coffee mugs. Family loyalty versus white knight syndrome. Where do you draw the line? CNN counters with a segment on domestic violence stats. My face blurred but unmistakable. I turn off the TV, but the noise burrows in. A constant hum like tinnitus. Lila reaches out again. This time through a mediator, her therapist, some soft-spoken shrink named Dr. Ellis, who sounds like she's auditioning for a Hallmark card. Video call. Neutral background of succulents and self-help spines. Aubrey, she starts. Voice measured. Lila wants reconciliation. The wedding's postponed. Victor's in rehab, anger management. She's processing the betrayal. Betrayal. The word lands like a slap of its own. Tell her. I say flat. Processing works both ways. 5 years. Doc. That's my rehab. But doubt creeps. Nights alone in a sublet studio off Bedford, peeling paint. Radiator hissing like accusations. I replay the drone feed. Was the timing cruel? Guests traumatized. Kids in the mix? One viral clip shows a flower girl crying, zoomed for sympathy points. Victor's camp milks it, painting me as the monster who poisoned the punch bowl. I counter with leaks. PI photos of his rehab weekends, yacht parties with models half his age.
Tit for tat.
Mudslinging marathon. Then the twist, the one that flips the script and leaves me reeling. A package arrives. No return address. FedEx overnight from an LA P.O. box. Inside, a thumb drive and a note in Lila's looping script. You think you know me? Watch this. Then talk. I plug it in wary, expecting deepfakes or sob stories. Instead, home movies, timestamped 5 years back. Nashville footage me, drunk at that dive bar. Lila confessing the embezzlement. But wait, my voice. Slurred thicker than hers. Sis.
Take it.
Dad's loaded. I'll fix the books. Where Harlan's we cover. Cut to later. Me wiring the funds myself. Laughing with her overshots. Adventure time. I slur. Holy shit. It's real. I remember now. Fragments suppressed like bad code. The theft wasn't just her. I greenlit it. Egged her on in some tequila-fueled pact to stick it to the man. Dad's empire felt stale then. My climb too slow. We were rebels. Sisters against the grind, until the hangover hit. And I buried it alone while she fled. The drive has more. Emails I sent her post-move. Pay it back soon? Love ya. Her replies. IOUs. Excuses. Then silence. Victor? She knew his dirt early. Told me in a deleted text chain. He's shady. But loaded. Help me vet. I ignored it. Busy with Dad's decline. Mind fractures. Was I the enabler? The jealous one? Resenting her freedom while I chained myself to ledgers? I call the lawyer. Voice shaking. Plausible deniability on the fraud?
She sighs.
Gray area. Joint liability.
Fuck.
Victor's suit morphs. Countersuit incoming. Alleging conspiracy. Lila's note ends. We both fucked up. Aubrey. But blood? It binds. Meet me halfway, before he destroys us both.
Halfway.
The word mocks as I pace the studio. City lights smearing like accusations through rain-streaked windows. Victor's cunning shines. He's flipped the narrative, positioning as the wronged groom. Me and Lila as the toxic duo. Leaks suggest he's wooing her back. Promises of a quiet elopement. Fresh start. She's wavering. I see it in her stories. Heart emojis under his rehab selfies. I agree to meet. Neutral ground. A diner off the turnpike in Jersey. Formica counters and grease thick as regret. She slides an opposite. Gaunt under the fluorescence. No makeup. Dress hanging loose, like shed skin. Thanks for coming, she whispers. Ordering coffee black. We sit silent first. Spoons clinking like handcuffs. Then it spills, her side. Unfiltered. Victor's charm soured fast. Love bombs to gaslighting. Slaps as lessons. The wedding was escape. Delusion of normalcy. I uninvited you because.
Guilt. Seen you there?
Mirror to my mess. I nod slow. Acid churning. And the drive? Why now? Her eyes well. Therapy homework. Face the secrets. I took the money.
Yeah. But you.
You chose to cover. We both ran from Dad's shadow. Truth stings. Raw as road rash. But then she drops the bomb. Victor knows about the embezzlement. All of it. Hired his own PI after the engagement. Used it as leverage. Why she sold the shares cheap. Why she stayed silent on his abuse. He's got tapes. Aubrey. Threatens to bury us both unless I sign a post-nup waiving alimony. Rage ignites. White hot. The bastard's been puppeteering us. Strings tangled in our shared sins. We end him, I say. Voice steel. She hesitates. Fingers twisting napkin shreds.
How?
He's got the power.
Power.
That's the American dream. Right? Build it. Break it. Buy the broken pieces. We plot over pie nobody eats. Old school revenge. Harlan style. I pull strings from my auditor days. Access to his firm's servers. Backdoors from a disgruntled IT guy I buy off with fear and spite. Lila feeds intel. His password, her birthday. Ironic fucker. Schedule down to bathroom breaks. We compile the kill file, not just his slaps, but the full mosaic, embezzlement ties framed on him via forged emails, DUI docs, harassment claims from exes willing to go on record now. Package it anonymous to the SEC, his board, major outlets. Whistleblower drop, I call it. No drones this time, just truth bombs. Executions tense, motel room in Edison. Laptops glowing like guilty consciences. She hit send at midnight. My hand on hers, sisters again. Flawed and fierce. Fallout erupts dawn. CNBC breaking victors, irregularities. Women stepping forward with Me Too echoes. His firm's stock tanks. Rehab facade crumbles. Lila files for annulment that afternoon. Statement to people. I was blind. No more. But victory's Pyrrhic. Feds sniff our fraud trail. Joint investigation. Immunity deals dangled if we flip on each other. Cousin calls. Cops at the door. Aubrey. Harlan ghosts. I bolt. Sublet abandoned. Cash in a go bag. Lila texts. Run together? Or alone? Choice looms. That American fork. Loyalty or survival. On the lam. America's a blur of interstates and anonymity. Subaru traded for a beater Chevy in a Philly chop shop. Plates from a guy who asks no questions and takes Venmo. I head south. Gut pulling to Nashville roots. Lila west to whatever hole she can hide in. Her last text. Forgive me? Blood binds. I don't reply. Forgiveness is a luxury. Like trust funds or unscarred cheeks. Mine's conditional now. Doled and drips. The feds close and slow. Like kudzu on a trailer park. First contact. Burner phone rings in a Charlotte Waffle House. Agent with a drawl like home. MS. Harlan. We know about the wire. Victor's singing, names dropped. Come involuntary. Lesser charges. Embezzlement's a felony. 5 years min if they pin intent. I hang up. Dump the phone in a dumpster behind Bojangles.
Keep driving.
Radio drones garrison Keeler reruns. Tales of Lake Wobegon where sins stay buried. Not my America. Victor implodes spectacular. Front page Wall Street Journal. Kane Ventures implodes amid fraud allegations. He's arrested in Palo Alto. Cuffs glinting for the cameras. That's Senator, smile cracked. Exes testify, patterns of control. Slaps shrugged as passion plays. His podcast? Cancelled mid-rant about woke witch hunts. Schadenfreude is sweet. But hollow, he's the villain. Sure. But we're no heroes. Lila surfaces in a Vanity Fair profile, the bride who broke free, airbrushed redemption arc. She mentions me oblique. A sister's love is a mirror. Harsh. But clarifying. No apology. Just gloss.
Me?
I vanish into the Ozarks. Hole up in a cabin rental under Aunt May's name, Dad's spinster sister. Bless her hoarding heart. Days blend. Wood chopping for therapy. Trout fishing for zen. Evenings with true crime docs that hit too close. X still buzzes. Harlan Sisters a niche cult. Fanfic of our drone saga. Debates raging. Was Aubrey the savior or saboteur? Polls split 52-48. Readers picking sides like it's fantasy football. One viral thread. She exposed abuse, but buried a crime. Hero or hypocrite? I scroll incognito. Heart twisting. No one's clean. That's the twist. The gray that sticks to your shoes. Twist hits literal a month in. Knock at the cabin door. 3 a.m. Lightning storm rattling windows like angry ghosts. I grab the .38 Dad willed me, registered. Unloaded. But menacing, crack the door to Lila. Soaked to bone. Duffel at her feet. They found my Airbnb, she whispers. Teeth chattering.
Feds.
Victor's deal, immunity for us.
Us.
The word's a hook. Yanking old wounds. She steps in, dripping on pine floors, and we don't hug. Brew tea instead. Chamomile steaming like truce flags. She spills. Victor flipped full. Cut a deal naming our fraud as collateral in his revenge porn claims. SEC's involved. But he's dangling lesser sentences if we testify against each other. Sister against sister, she says.
Bitter.
He wins either way. Cunning fucker, Maury twist. Turning our bond to barbed wire.
Vi tok till dawn.
Rain easing to mist. Secrets unpack like battered luggage. Her guilt over Dad. My resentment of her ease. The embezzlement as shared suicide pact gone wrong. We were kids playing grown-up, she says. I nod. And now, adults owning it. Decision forks. Turn ourselves in tandem. Plea bargain as co-defendants. Or scatter like roaches. Blood binds. But does it blind? We choose together. Drive to Knoxville FBI field office at noon. Hands clasped over the gearshift, sisters. Scarred and stubborn. Agents greet us cool. Miranda rights recited like liturgy. Interrogation rooms sterile. Coffee vending swill. But we sync stories. Joint confession. No finger-pointing. Victor's tapes? Fabricated half-truths. We claim his M.O. Lawyers swarm post-arrest. Plea to misdemeanors. Restitution. Probation. Community service auditing nonprofits. Court dates a circus. Reporters mobbing the steps of the federal courthouse in Nashville. Our old stomping grounds. Judges a silver fox with a gavel swing like Judgment Day. Sentences light. 2 years supervised. $200,000 fine split. Victor? 5 to 7 on fraud and assault charges. His empire ashes. Lila and I walk out free-ish. Paparazzi flashes blinding as spotlights. Ending? Not tidy. We sell the cabin story to Netflix, 6 figures. Sisters of Vengeance, directed by that Shonda Rhimes acolyte. It streams huge. Twists debated in bars from Brooklyn to Boise. Was the revenge righteous? Or just another con? Happy? In fragments, Lila starts a shelter for abuse survivors in LA. I consult on ethics for startups. Gray area gigs that keep me sharp. We talk weekly. Cautious. Mending slow, like cracked concrete. But the real twist? That lingers in quiet moments. Staring at Dad's old photo on my mantle, him grinning amid rebar stacks. Did we honor him? Or haunt him? Blood's thicker than justice. Sure. But thinner than lies. America loves a redemption arc. But ours? It's jagged, debatable, the kind that sparks bar fights and TED Talks.
And me?
Aubrey Harlan? I'm still standing. Drone scars and all. Wondering if revenge ever really ends, or just evolves into something uglier.
Trua.